Okay, so today's lesson is about correlation. So previously, during our previous topic, we tackled about the z-test and the t-test. The z-test and the t-test concerns about the significant difference between the two parameters. So when the null hypothesis is asking you to test whether there is or the null hypothesis that states that there is no significant difference between the two parameter, then possible that we will be using either t-tests or z-tests. But when the null hypothesis states that there is no significant relationship between the two parameter, then that means possible that we will be doing some tests of correlation such as Pearson R, chi-square, or Sperman rule. So for this topic, we are going to limit our discussion in the Pearson R correlation. So correlation works with, for instance, a businessman wants to know if there is a relationship between the sales and the number of advertisement that they did during a certain period of month, or is the lifespan of an animal related to the birth rate, or is it the number of hours a student studying, is it related or correlated to the grades and statistics and so on? Okay, so correlation coefficient, it is statistician use a measure called the correlation coefficient to determine the strength of the linear relationship between two variables. So there are several types of correlation coefficient. As mentioned, we have the Sperman rule, we have the Pearson-R correlation, and we have the chi-square. And those correlation coefficients serve different problems, different research. The one explained in this section is called the person product moment correlation, or the Pearson R, named after the statistician Carl Pearson, who pioneered the research in this area. So we have here the formula for the um, correlation coefficient for the Pearson R. So we have there R, small letter R, and the end there is the number of data pairs, or the number of sample size. That is read as the summation of xy multiplied by n minus the summation of x. This one is read as the summation of x multiplied by the summation of y, all over the square root of um, summation of x squared times n minus summation of quantity x raised to the second power multiplied by n times the summation of y squared minus the summation of y quantity squared. The formula may looks like it's not a friendly formula, but later on, I am going to teach you how to do it without using the formula, using the Microsoft Excel. So I hope even if you don't have the Microsoft Excel in your tablet now because you are using it during our classes, you can go back with this discussion because this is recorded. So rounding rule for the correlation coefficient is that to three decimal places. So one of the question that we need to answer when dealing with correlation is that what's the relationship between the two variable, and what is the what type of relationship exists between the two variable. And to answer that, we have here the qualitative description. When the result of our computation is plus minus 1, meaning there is a perfect correlation between the two. So for instance, you are concerned with the height of the father and the height of the eldest son. Is it correlated when the father's height, or is it correlated the father's height and the eldest son? When we get the 1 or negative 1, meaning to say the height of the father is perfectly correlated to the height of the eldest son. But when upon computation, the result is plus minus 0.75, but less than plus minus 1, meaning there is very high correlation. The height of the father has a very high correlation to the height of the eldest son. When the computation of person R, the result is from zero point 0.5 plus minus zero point 0.5, but less than plus minus 0.75, there is a moderately high correlation. When there is a person R value of 0.25 to zero point 0.5, less than zero point 0.5 rather, there is moderately low. Okay? And then greater than 0 but less than plus minus 0.25, there is very low correlation. Zero value, meaning there is no correlation at all. Okay? So let's try to compute this one. Compute the value of the correlation coefficient for the data obtained in the study of number of absences and final grade of the students in the statistics class. So we have their student A to G. The number of absences is given as X, 6 for A. Then the final grade is 82. And then for student B, the grade is 86. And then there are 2 absences. For student C, 43. It's possible that we have the grade of 43. Do not be surprised of a 43 grade. And the absences is 15. Next, 74 is the final grade. Absences are 9. 58 is the final grade. Absences are 12. 90 is the final grade. Absences are 5. 78 is the final grade. And then the number of absences will be 8. Okay? So here, we are going to fill in the table. The first um, column there is X. That is the number of absences. The second column is Y. That is the final grade. Okay, so we have to get the X squared. What's X squared? So we have to multiply X times X. So this will be 36. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 15 times 15, that is equal to 225. 9 times 9, that's 81. 12 times 12 is 144. 5 times 5 is 25. And then 8 times 8, we have there 64. The second column, the fourth column rather, is to multiply y by itself. So that's 82 times 82, that is 6,724. 86 times 86, that's 7,396. 43 times 43, that is equal to 1,849. And then 74 times 74, it's 5,476. 58 times 58, that's 3,364. Then we also have 90 times 90, that's 8,100. 78 times 78, that's 60,084. The last column will be to multiply xy. This one, you multiply it, so that's 6 times 82, that's 492. 2 times 86, that's 172. 15 times 43, that's 645. 9 times 74, that is equal to 666. 12 times 58, that is equal to 696. 5 times 90, that's 450. And then 8 times 78, that is 628. The next one is the summation. Summation of x. So you add all. The summation of that will be 6 plus 2 plus 15 plus 9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 8. The sum of that is 57. And then 82 plus 86 plus 43 plus 74 plus 58 plus 90 plus 78, the total is 511. The total of x squared is 579. The total of y squared is, I computed earlier na kasi, 38,993, and this is 37,400, 3,745. Okay? Now, ito yung kinumpute ko kanina. So let's compute for the person R correlation. As we all know, the formula there is N, the summation of x, y minus the summation of x multiplied by the summation of y all over N times the summation of x squared minus the summation of x quantity squared multiplied by N, the summation of y squared minus the summation of y squared, and this should be square root. Okay, so our n there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then summation of xy here, 3, 7, 4, 5. 3, 7, 4, 5 multiplied the summation of x here, 57. The summation of y is 511 all over. Our n there is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be 7. Then we have there 7. Summation of x squared is 579 minus the summation of x is 57, but then squared. Kasha. And then we have there 7. Summation of y squared is 38,993 minus the summation of y, which is 511 squared. And then it should be squared. So the result of that, when you are going to simplify, is at 0.948, 3 decimal places. Okay? Now, that 0.948 falls on the, what is the qualitative description? 0.948. Based on the qualitative description, is this a perfect correlation? Is it very high correlation? Is it moderately high, moderately low, very low, or no correlation?
Very high po.
Okay, very good. So meaning to say, there is a very high correlation between the number of absences, absences, and final grade. It makes sense because when you keep on absent, I mean, you have a lot of absences, it will greatly affect your final grade. I know the computation is a laborious task for you. So we'll be teaching you how to do it using the Microsoft Excel. In the Microsoft Excel, um, you are going to, the entire screen. Okay, so we have now x squared, meaning to say the first column will be multiplied by itself. So you put equal there and then click 6. This is the square. And then enter. You just drag it. There you have it. And then for the y squared, that's equal. And then click the first data for y. I forgot to put parenthesis. And this is the square. And then enter. All you have to do is to drag. Make sure you have this plus sign. Drag it. The last column is to multiply x. And then click y. Enter. So we have now the, you just drag it. Okay. So we need a summation. Sum or summation. Just highlight this one. And then go to home. We have there auto sum. This one.
Sir,
We click question mark.
yung sa x squared po tapos sa y squared, squared lang po yung idadagdag doon.
Yes. Look at this one.
Tapos sa x and y,
We
multiply na po.
multiply x. 6 times 82.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
So for this summation, we have there the auto sum. You just click that, and that's the sum. Then you drag it all the way here. That's the sum. Is it the same? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How to get the correlation? Easy for it. You don't need this one when you want to get the correlation. It's okay if you have no x squared, y squared, xy. However, I'll be asking you to get the value of x squared, y squared, and xy during the assignment, during the submission of the assignment. So all you have to do is to go for the data. And then we have there the data analysis. This data analysis will compute the Pearson R given only this data. That's the data only. So you click data analysis, you look at the correlation there. Again, the data analysis will be from data. It's okay if you don't have the Excel now. This is recorded. You can watch later. I'll be uploading it to the YouTube. So home, insert, page, layout, formula, data. So we can find data analysis in the data. Then when you click the data analysis, we have there the ANOVA, two-factor ANOVA, correlation, covariance, descriptive statistics, exponential, the histogram, random numerical generation, regression, t-test, and the z-test. So our concern here is the correlation. You click the correlation, and then okay. Now, you go to the input range. This is the input range. You include the label to that side because sum is that part of the data. And then you click this one. Make sure you click the label. The label there is the number of absences and the final grade. This is the label. And then you click if that is column or row. So in our case, that's column. Then the output range, that is where you are going to put your answer. So I want my output range to be on this side so I can compute. And I can compare. Then press OK. This is now the, it should be negative. The Pearson R correlation, you just have to round it to 2 decimal places. That's 0 point. What's our answer earlier? 0.948. So maybe there is something with the, bakit 948? It should be 94. 94, yeah, 944. Negative 944. So this is the Pearson R. So meaning to say that thus there is a very high, this is negative, huh? So negative 944, that's very high. Very high correlation between the number of absences and the final grade. Question so far.
Sir,
Who is this? John Mark.
sa final grade po, pag positive po ba, ang magiging sagot po namin dun sa kagaya nung ginawa niyo, thus there is a very high correlation, magiging low pag positive
No.
po.
This one kasi, you just disregard the negative and the positive sign. You just get the absolute value. Kasi look at this one. That's negative. It's still under this. Kasi 1 less than 1 greater than 0.75 or negative 1 and then from negative 0.75.
So sir, yung magiging explanation namin based on strength of the computed yung word.
Yes, it's based on the qualitative description.
Okay po sir, thank you po.
So when you say negative correlation, meaning to say as one goes up, the other one goes down. Or when you have the positive, as one goes up, the other one goes up. As one decreases, the other data also decreases. So which one do you prefer? You want to do the manual computation or do it using Microsoft Excel?
Sir Mike, I think best option is Excel sir.
Are you sure?
Kasi
Kasi,
sir,
Manual.
Manual na lang po, sir.
ha?
Manual po. Madali po.
Sige, manual. So we'll do it manually and then we'll do it using Microsoft Excel. So you have the option. Okay? So I'll
okay.
stop screen this one so I can go back with my other device. Okay, so we have the second example. Andrew, question so far, I did not ask you to, if there's some clarification. So when you're doing the person R, it should have 5 columns. By the way, person R correlation is used when you have a data which is interval, I know, not interval, ratio and interval ra. Yeah. Interval and ratio. When you say interval, you know the difference between the two data, but you don't have a zero reference. Ratio, you know the difference between the two data and you have the zero as a point of reference. Say, for example, we have here 6 and 82. We know the difference between 82 and 6, 2 and 86. Okay? Let's go back with our lesson in grade 7 about levels of measurement. We have there nominal, ordinal, or interval, and ratio. When you are asking only what's the political preference of the respondents, we cannot use the person R because it's only nominal. Okay? When you are asked what is the demographic profile of the respondents, so we cannot use the person R. Okay? So no question. Let's continue. Andrew, studies of age correlates with the average number of hours of sleep. So he selects, sorry, a random sample of size 6 and surveyed the needed data. Can Andrew conclude a strong relationship between a person's age and the number of hours he or she sleeps? Kapag matanda ka na ba, ang oras mo ba umiiksi na pagtulog? So let's see if our age is correlated with the number of hours that we sleep. So same thing, our X there is the number, is the age, while our Y is um, the number of sleep. Wait a minute. So this is age and the number of sleep. So X squared, can you help me? What's X squared there? Anyone from the class?
100 po.
That's correct, Kiana. Sige, you continue.
256 po.
That's correct.
484, sir.
That's correct. And
900.
good. Next.
1,156.
Okay.
1,600.
Yes, that's correct. What about Y squared?
64.
Okay.
49 po.
49. Good. This is 64 also, no? 49, 36, 25. And then XY will be, you multiply this to this, that's 80. 16 times 7, that's 112. 22 times 8, that's 176. 30 times 7, that's 210. 34 times 6, that's 204. 40 times 5, that is 200. Can you give me the summation? You just add.
Po.
What's the answer?
152.
Sige, although na-compute ko na siya. Sige, gusto ko lang manggaling sa inyo. 152, tapos, why?
34.
Again?
34.
Why? Hindi ba, hindi 34? No?
Po.
Is it 51?
41 po.
Ay, 41, sorry. It should be 41. Then the summation of x squared,
4,400.
yeah, 4,496. Summation of y squared, what's the summation?
287.
That's correct. And last, the summation of xy.
982 po.
Very good. Okay, so I compute it earlier, so that's the result. That's 152, 41, 4496. Yeah, same naman. So the formula is R is equal to N multiplied by the summation of xy minus the summation of x multiplied by the summation of y all over. This is N, the summation of x squared minus the summation of x and then square multiplied by the summation of y, I forgot the n, minus the summation of y squared. And then this is squared. So the summation of x, y, by the way, our n is what? What's n?
982, sir.
No, the number of sample.
Po. 6.
6 po.
And then xy is 982 minus the summation of x is 152 multiplied by the summation of y, which is 41, all over. This is 6. The summation of x squared is 4,496. The summation of x is 152, but you have to square it. And then let's multiply. This is 6. Summation of y squared is 287 minus summation of y is 41 and then squared. So can you give me the computation? It's a kind of laborious computation, but you have to compute it in such a way that the computation must be in one computation. What I mean is, when you are going to do it step by step, it will give you a different person R correlation final answer. Do you have the answer? It's negative 0.810. So what's the equivalent? What's the description to that? Very high, perfect correlation, moderately high, moderately low, very low, or no correlation.
Very high po.
Okay, so there is a very high correlation between age and hours of sleep. So meaning to say, as we age rather, our number of sleep is decreasing. So habang tumatanda tayo, ang tulog natin umiiksik. So it makes sense kasi based on my observation, yung mga lolo't lola natin, matanda na sila, madaling araw gising na. I'm sure you also observe this one. Yung mga matatanda, mas madali silang nagigising sa madaling araw.
Mga alas 3, sir.
Okay? Now let's, yes, alas tres. Now let's do it using the Microsoft Excel. Um, for this, all you have to do is the data. Now this is the data for number 2. I am not going to compute x squared. I am not going to compute y squared and then xy. Most of the research that I encounter in practical 1 and 2 for the humanities and social sciences, they're using person R correlation. So I just go to the data and then click the data analysis. This is the data analysis. Correlation, just click OK. Then input range, you click this arrow. So this is the input range. And then here, label, do not forget to click the label. The output range, I want it here so I can compare and then press OK. Oh, it's 0. 8513. Earlier, I compute it 0. Let's compute again. So again, data, the data analysis, we have there the correlation, press OK. The input range is here. I am not going to include the label. Then click this one. The output range is the same. I'll just press OK. Yeah. So round off is 0.81. The same that we get during the manual computation. So meaning to say, there is a very high correlation between age and hours of sleep. Clear? Okay, I want you to do the last examples. Your turn. Sige, do it now. Just give me the person R. I mean the interpretation. If you're confused, you can do it. So here's the formula. If you're done, you can type the value of your R. Na, what's the value of R?
Sir, 9.
Ang laki ng 9. Dapat your answer must be greater than 0 but less than 1.
Mali pala, sir, yung
It's the value. Ako yung iba hindi naman nag-solve. Tinitigan lang. Wala pa din? Ano na? Wala pa din. Sana hirapan.
Sir, dun na sa may parang formula.
Sige. I understand that you're having a hard time with the formula. You simplify first the numerator, and then you simplify this one. You simplify this. After that, you multiply, and then you get the square root before you divide it in the numerator.
Sir, subtract then.
What do you subtract? Ano, sirit na? Can you check your work if we have the same x squared, y squared, xy, and the summation? So R there will be in all over n. Very good. So, min kasi sa R na lang tayo magsasagot. X squared minus x, and then the summation of y squared minus y squared. So this is equal to, what's our n? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
9,
6,
sir.
8, 8, 9. Xy is 1,520 minus the summation of x, 36. Y is 370. This is 9. Summation of x squared is 232. Summation of x is 36. And then squared. Here we have 9. Summation of y squared is 19,236 minus y square, y rather is 370 squared. That's square root. So we have there the value as of r, which is 0.081. So meaning to say, when we are going to chat, interpret it, what's the result?
Very high.
Perfect, very high, moderately low, very low, or no correlation.
Very high, sir.
Very high, 0.081.
Very low. Very low pa,
Very
sir.
low. Confused kayo sa zero. There is a very low correlation between hours of exercise and the amount of milk. Let me show you using the, I still have 4 minutes, using the Excel. For those students who wants to prepare Excel. So here, I just go to the data, press data analysis, and then look at the correlation, press OK, input range, and then this is the input range from here. Just highlight everything, and okay, we have 0.0, um, 3 decimal places. Yeah, 0.081. The same thing that um, our answers earlier. Now, for the for the last slide, you are going to answer this one to be submitted in the Google Classroom. It's assignment number 6. There's only 3. Okay. Save as. Na umabsent, ay umabsent. Huwag mo na umalis because I'll be getting the attendance. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for joining the class and see you